Hello and welcome to the second annual 50/50 Day, a global day of film, conversation, action pledges, all about how to get to a more gender-balanced world. All issues, all races, all ages, everyone. We want to bring you all in. Woohoo! Woo! And into this global experiment. It's like a movable feast, and there's 35,000 events happening all over the world in over 62 countries. And we're going to be tapping into them during the day. We're going to be listening to speakers. We're going to be commenting on things. We're going to be showing movies. What else are we going to be doing?
Join us for the whole day. Come in, come out, play this at events, watch it on your computer at your desk. Come, we're going to be on here for a lot of hours. We're going to
have fun. And we want it to be like, you're in our living room. There's going to be people in and out. We have Mackenzie's going to be sharing soon that she's going to be tapping into global events happening all over the world. And I think one of the
amazing speakers every half hour throughout the day.
And one of the things that we're at a very important moment right now, it feels like, in our society. Everything from Me Too to over 500 women running in the election. And it just feels like a time we need to actually bring it together and bring the change where it needs to happen. So all these events that are happening, they're happening where it needs to, people need to talk about it, at companies, at schools, at homes, at libraries, at museums. We're kind of pushing the conversation outwards, and then all this live stream that you're watching is going to link it all together. It's an experiment. We love how many have we done now?
7.
Because we do another global day called Character Day that this is building from, and each time we do it, just kind of pushing on the edge of technology, like, is that going to work? And then Facebook changes something, and is that going to work? And that is part of the excitement of it. So roll with us. I mean, I'm sure some technology is not going to work, and we're going to just roll with that, and hopefully...
And what does an event look like?
Okay, an event, that's a great question. So the first film that we made was called 50/50, Rethinking the Past, Present, and Future of Women in Power. It's a 20-minute film. A lot of people are going to show that. We also have a new 4-minute film. What's that called, Sawyer?
Why I Pledge 50/50.
Yes, and that launches our Action Pledge tool, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So people show a film, and we also have a lot of recommended films by our partners. So they show a film, then we have discussion kits for them, and you can experience that online too. Then they might have their own discussion, or they can tap in to listen to this live stream, and then everybody makes an action pledge. We have this beautiful tool that April 6th helped us design that gives very specific things that each of us can do to move the needle forward on this conversation. So today's a day of action.
Totally, and some of those events are in corporate headquarters, like multiple offices around the globe. Some events are across all school districts and individual classrooms. People are having events in their homes. It's like every different kind of event there is. Some are 10 people, some are 10,000, and everything in between. So
yeah, and I want to take a moment because I want to introduce everyone, because over here Dom spoke last year's 50/50 Day, and we were so knocked out by everything you said. We're like, you need to come in and be in the nerve center with us here.
Yeah, I got to interview you.
I know, sorry, I got to interview. So I guess I'll just start with saying, like, why is this important to you?
Yeah. I love that you do this. I love that you do this. And I love that you've been doing this for so much time too. Like your work on the internet has explored how we can connect with each other and organize global movements and global conversations.
Thank you.
So my background is with Lesbians Who Tech, and that's how we connected.
Thank you.
Speaking about technology, which is happening here. So if you're watching this, you probably already found the Facebook live stream, but other people might not have found it, so tweet it right now. Make sure to share this on social.
Yeah.
But Lesbians Who Tech is my background, and right now I work for Mapbox here in San Francisco. And we're a location tech platform, so the tools that we build are actually determining the ways that we'll be able to connect in the future. And so it, like 50/50 and gender equality and inclusion and gender diversity are important to me, because if we don't have women and trans people and non-binary people shaping that technology and building those tools won't reflect our needs and our reality. So we need female, trans, and non-binary engineers and executives. So rise up.
Nice.
Yes.
Next, we have Kimberly Brooks, who is amazing, and she's from Fusion. She has a show called The Feed.
Yes.
And why is this?
Why is 50/50 Day important?
What does it mean to you?
You know what I think it is? It's every generation has a responsibility to do their part to make it better for the next one. We would not be sitting here if it wasn't for ancestors and all these people who laid the groundwork, that fought hard, some of them that died, for us to be able to have the privilege of using our voice. So I don't take it for granted that, you know, I can speak out and say the things that matter and try to push it a little bit farther ahead in terms of having real equality. So I think what you guys are doing here today is an example of that, and it's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sawyer. Now, Sawyer and I have been making movies together for over a decade.
True.
And he's a co-founder of 50/50 Day, and talk to us.
Why, what this means to me? I'm coming from a place of being a person in the world, of being a father, of being a partner, of being a man, also being a transgender man who has experienced multiple genders in my life. And 50/50 to me is not about equality, or certainly not about a binary. It's about balance, and it's about allowing everybody to rise, whatever gender, whatever qualities, whatever character strengths you have. Empathy is not female, leadership is not male. It's about balancing all of that, and not just rising one group to be what the other group is. It's a whole new paradigm. And so 50/50 to me is something new.
Yeah,
it's imagining it, and it's putting a picture on it and painting it and putting yourself into it.
Preach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Preach.
Well, I think that is really interesting with the term 50/50, because to us it means balance, and we've been such imbalance for so long, and we just need to write it to lift everybody up. I want to the people that helped us lift this up are our sponsors. So I want to thank Jackie Zahner, who just came up with us at the beginning, the David and Laurel Lovell Foundation, Refinery 29, who we made 50/50 for their Shatterbox anthology. They've been the most amazing partner. Women's Funding Network. We have so many amazing bigger partners as well. And none of this would happen. This is all for free for people. So we don't want any barrier to entry to this very important conversation. Should we talk about the pledge tool? I know we're running out of time.
Two other shout outs to Red Summit Productions and Chime Interactive.
All right, helping with
Argus HD, who are all behind the scenes making all of this production happen.
Yes. And let's see. We are going to go. I want to introduce two people in our. Julie Hermelin, who's talking to us from over there, another co-founder, 50/50 Day. She made the film 50/50 with us.
Hello.
Julie Hermelin.
I'll be behind shouting at people, but I want to just let you guys all know we've got incredible speakers happening and interviews. Our hosts are going to be doing interviews. We also have incredible conversation pairings throughout the day. So as you tune in, you'll hear Jada Pinkett Smith is going to be in conversation with students from the Sarasota Military Academy. So that'll be really interesting. We have the incredible Kimberly Crenshaw, the woman who coined the term intersectionality. She's going to be in conversation with Matt McGorry, the actor from How to Get Away with Murder, and Orange is the New Black, among others. And he's been an incredible feminist in his life, and he's very eager to have that conversation with her. We have the CEO of Elevest, Sally Krawcheck, the
Tony Porter
from
Tony Porter. Actually, I want to say one thing. We don't call this Women's 50/50 Day. To us, this is just about we're all in this together. So let's all have the conversation together. And we have a lot of great men speaking too. And I feel like that's the moment we're in, is we need to come back together and figure this out and make
and engage with the conversation through the.
The live stream.
Questions.
Hashtag.
Okay,
wait.
Thank you.
Hashtag. Thank you.
Bye, Julie.
Okay, because you are tweeting and posting on Instagram and posting on Facebook, the hashtags for today are getting to 50/50 and why I pledge 50/50.
Because yes, we have a big action pledge tool that's right on our site, 50-50day.org. It's an amazing action pledge tool that April 6th helped us build, and 50 specific things. Now I'm going to throw it over to
We're going to be talking more about that in about
later.
5 minutes.
Okay, our amazing director of partnerships, and tell us what you're going to be doing today. Mackenzie, darling.
Hello, I'm so excited to be part of the second annual 50/50 Day. My name is Mackenzie Darling. I'm the Director of Partnerships and Engagement for 50/50 Day. I am so excited because I will be in charge of tapping into all of these global events today. We have such a treat for you. We're going to be tapping into events in Chile, events in Nigeria and India. Then we're going to be visiting different corporations such as WeWork, Salesforce, Adobe, just to name a few. And then lastly, I love working with the students across the country. So we're going to be tapping into K-12 and universities.
Great.
So please stay tuned, and really hope you enjoy the ride as much as we do.
Yay!
She also runs our ambassador program, which she'll be talking about later.
Oh yeah, if you're passionate about this issue, join the ambassador program, because she runs it and it's fantastic.
And we can't forget our New York correspondent,
Yes.
Zami. She's reporting live from
New York.
New York. She's going to be at the ERA Coalition event at Hunter College.
Yeah, they're doing it at Hunter College, and then they're having all these ERA 50/50 day events at colleges around the country.
Yeah.
It's amazing. They have Patricia Arquette speaking and all these amazing people, but I know we're supposed to wrap it up. Yes. So she's going to be at the...
She's going to be at that event later, and she is also just going to be tuning in all day, so it's going to be awesome.
Nice. We're going to the film.
Okay, so now, we're premiering a new 4-minute film called Why I Pledge 50/50. It really speaks to this pledge tool. We got to take action. Everyone can make a difference. Everyone can commit to one thing, and then we're going to provide you resources on how to do it. But this is called Why I Pledge 50/50. It's 4 minutes, and we hope you enjoy, and we hope you make a pledge. See you later on.
There are 195 countries in the world, each with their own stories and struggles in creating a more gender-balanced world. One that's not just better for women, but for everyone. And I know in the United States, where I live,
We're at this really big moment where there's a lot of conversation about gender and power.
and a lot of people wanting things to change.
The new day is on the horizon.
So in order to imagine what that world could look like, let's begin with the very minor, unheated topic of American politics. The United States is a democracy with 519,682 elected officials, whose job it is to represent us and make decisions on our behalf. But do they look like our population? No. Take Congress. In its all-time most diverse Congress ever, it's still 81% men and 81% white. Imagine what would change if our decision makers actually reflected who we are, which includes 50% women. And this is not a partisan issue. In fact, studies show that more women in government from both sides lead to more bipartisan ideas and a more productive, functional government. Like when the Swedish parliament reached a critical mass of women, they changed their workday to end at 6 p.m. rather than 10, with the same productivity. Now, what if we saw that critical mass not just in politics, but across all parts of our lives? What would it look like if half the CEOs out there were women? To start, countless studies show we'd have more sustainable, profitable businesses. But we probably also have what the happiest countries in the world have. Things like pay equality and parental leave for all genders. Maybe even some stylish clogs. Imagine how those kind of changes would shift our culture as a whole and change your life or someone you love. Now imagine if the curriculum shaping future generations actually reflected those future generations. All genders, all races, all intersecting issues. And imagine if our TV, movies, and news did the same. And finally, if our homes were free of centuries-old gender expectations. And we finally have a critical mass wanting to make that change. So what specific things can you do? Whether you're a CEO, an employee, a student, or parent, you make hundreds of decisions every day that can either push you away from a gender-balanced world or bring you closer to it.
I pledge to create a paid family leave policy.
I pledge to support women-owned businesses. I pledge to respect people's preferred pronouns.
I pledge to educate myself about an issue that doesn't directly impact my life.
I pledge to vote in every election, big or small.
I pledge to help get the Equal Rights Amendment ratified and passed.
I pledge to take an unconscious bias test.
I pledge to break as many stereotypes as possible.
We don't have all the answers, but we do have 50 very specific things you can do to get started.
And I pledge to promote women into executive teams.
So guys, I'm loving this 4-minute film that you produced and this pledge tool. I want to hear more about it because they're really incredible things that you guys put together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I think people want to take action. Like, there's so much conversation right now, but it's like, people are like, what can I do? Or, I don't run a company, I'm not a politician, what can I do? Well, we have very specific things you can do. Tell us the partners.
So, we had incredible partners, first of all, with the pledge tool that all contributed. So what you're not realizing when you see the pledge tool is we had a Google Doc with all of our partners actually crowdsourcing all these pledges, and then we edited them down, and we wanted to make it really easy, and April 6th were incredible to say, pick the top 5 or pick these 5. And one of our really important partners was the City of Los Angeles, who, the mayor's office of the City of Los Angeles, who made this gender equity toolkit for cities. We did that in partnership with them. So anyone can bring this toolkit to your city government and say, this is how we bring more equity into our cities. How to operationalize gender equity. When they threw that term out to me, I was like, I love that term.
I have a question.
Wait, okay. Kim's got a question.
Very curious what you guys pledged.
Oh.
I've pledged a few.
We want people to pledge. You can pledge more than one because it's the thing about
even to back up a little bit, because if you just watched that film, you probably haven't even gotten to the site yet.
Okay,
and,
right.
You know, so we'll just explain it a little bit.
Okay.
You see it at the end of the film. So the super cool part of the tool is that you go in and first you select your persona. So you can be a parent, a CEO, an individual, a student. There's tons that are there for younger audiences. And then you select what part of society. So it's all based on our poster.
Oh, it's a poster.
There's a poster down here.
Wait, we have a problem.
So
this says economy, politics, identity, culture, and home. But what
bringing
we wanted
the change where it needs to happen.
What we wanted to do was really make that accessible and simple. So instead of thinking about like what's the pledge I'm going to make for economy, it's we made that at work. And what's the pledge I'm going to make for politics? We made that in society or as a person. So you walk through this really lovely user flow, basically, of
super easy to use.
Super easy.
And then what area of the world you want to.
And it has 50 specific pledges. So there's 50, and then once you make your pledge, hopefully you'll share it on social. Because, well, first of all, there's this study that you're 40% more likely to do something if you write it down. And then I think if you share it, but here's the thing I think it really requires, it's the follow-up. So we follow up with an email with resources on how to achieve that pledge. Because and you know, in the way that April 6th did it was these Post-its, like keep it near, keep it top of mind, write your pledge down on a Post-it and just keep it on your fridge. Like that's what I'm working towards.
And if you want to go the extra mile, and you can see some of these on Twitter already, I saw some this morning, make a video about why I pledged. I mean, the tool's called Why I Pledge. You saw some in the film already.
Why I Pledge 50/50.
Why I Pledge 50/50. So go on Twitter, do a little iPhone video, and post it. We want to hear from you.
You guys aren't going to get out of the question, though. What did you pledge?
Ready. All of them.
Mine was to educate more people about the ERA Coalition. They're a big partner of ours. Most people do not realize that women do not have equal rights in this country. It's ridiculous, and
equal rights by law.
Yes, by law. But anyways, so that's what I pledged to, because a lot of people don't know. We put it in our film 50/50, and it always gets a gasp when it's mentioned that we still don't have that. So to continue to kind of try to teach people about that.
Yeah, quickly.
I pledged the gender equity toolkit for cities. I mean, Los Angeles has it, but I want to continue to, spread it out to other cities and encourage my friends to do it.
And you?
So I think I've probably done one in each of the buckets. I think.
Give us one.
Give us one. One that I love is supporting women-owned businesses. Yeah, it's such an easy one.
And we
there's
partner.
so many resources when you do
Gender Fair.
Gender Fair. Worldwide Women just launched a new platform, and there's a couple of others that are all in our resources.
Equalette is another great one. Yeah. So I'm going to leave, and Mackenzie's going to come in here.
Okay, that was all about the film, the tool, the living room here.
Hello, the living room.
Okay, so what's happening next?
Okay, so I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite people, my #1 ambassador, Todd Brown from Sarasota Military Academy in Florida. He's a U.S. Congressional Teacher of the Year. He has gone above and beyond for 50/50 Day. So let's go live to Todd, and
he's
he'll
also
be with
in the
his
end
students.
of the film.
Yes, he is at the end of the film.
He made a pledge about the ERA.
Yeah.
Hello! Wonderful to see you, Todd. Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, probably only.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
This is part of the experiment.
It's an experiment.
Okie dokes. Hello, Todd.
Pass it over.
Can you hear?
Okay.
I can hear. Put a little louder, please. Hello, Todd.
So we're good. Yeah, hey, so you can hear now.
I can hear. Tell us what's going on.
Awesome.
I see all of your wonderful students there.
Yeah, they are here excited. We had an awesome day yesterday. This has turned into a multi-day event. Yesterday we had a double escape room and scavenger hunt looking at historical women that have changed the world over time, all over the world, as we've put up on our atlas here. And then today we're focusing really on contemporary women that are changing the world today, right now. And specifically, we're looking at a couple of different people.
Like Dr. Cardi Sabeti, who's from Iran and an infectious disease specialist.
Wonderful, thank you.
And Beyonce, who is a singer, songwriter, and activist.
Yeah. I love me some Beyonce.
And Jada Pinkett Smith, who was born in the USA and is an actor, singer, plus an activist.
And Malala from Pakistan, who is the youngest Nobel laureate.
Yeah, so some people, like we talked about historically, that are absolutely amazing, that have changed the world, like Dr. Mirzakhani and Frida, the artist from Mexico. And we're looking for all over the world and trying to expand this as much as we possibly can. And again, today, with the contemporary women, it's been fantastic, and we love being a part of this.
Well, we are so incredibly happy to have you be a part of this too. And Todd, can you just give me a quick plug on your Inspire project for everyone in our audience to know what you're up to?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we've combined the Inspire project with 50/50 Day and also Character Day. Today we are speaking to Elsa Chartier from France, DC and Marvel artist. We have Dr. Fanera, a hydrologist, a PhD. We're talking to Tamara Robertson, who was part of the Discovery Channel. And we've got all these people calling in, visiting the campus that are really inspirational, powerful women. So it is amazing to be a part of this, and we really appreciate being part of this.
That's terrific. And then later on today, you all are going to be having Jada Pinkett Smith come live to be interviewed by your students, correct?
Yeah, and that is mind-blowing. It's a whirlwind, as I'm sure you know, but it is fantastic. We're super excited to have that happen.
That is wonderful. Terrific. How much longer, guys, do we have till we're going
Kiva?
to the next Kiva? I just want to make sure we're on time in our living room.
She's kind of hopping all over the globe.
Good? All right, so we're going to be hopping over to Kiva now. Thank you so much, Todd. Chat with you soon.
All right, look at Kiva. Bye.
Bye. Hello, we are coming live from Kiva headquarters.
I love Kiva.
Chelsea Bochev, the VP of Marketing and Communications. Hello, Chelsea and everyone.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having us. We're just so thrilled to be a part of this day. It's really exciting for all of us. You can see the energy and the enthusiasm.
Yay! Wonderful. So great to see you. Can you tell us what you have planned?
Absolutely. So like you said, I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Community at Kiva, and yesterday we got together and we watched one of the 50/50 films and had a discussion about gender equality. It was a really fruitful discussion, and I personally pledged to help Kiva ensure that all employees are treated fairly as we continue our mission to ensure underrepresented individuals worldwide are empowered to create a better livelihood for themselves and their families. Thank you. And we have some other pledges as well.
Wonderful. I can't wait to hear.
Sorry, Chelsea. I'm Julie Costello, the Development Operations Manager at Kiva, and I pledge to support women-owned, gender-fair, and B Corp certified companies. Hi there, my name is Kate Irick. I'm a Community Associate at Kiva, and I pledge to support the campaigns of women and other underrepresented kids.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Okay. I'm the Strategic Operations Manager at Kiva. I pledge to listen to support those that have experienced harassment and to examine my own unconscious biases.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm loving the energy. Thank you, everyone, so much. And can you just tell a little bit about Kiva to our audience who may not know? We love you and support you.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kiva supports entrepreneurs all around the globe who are looking for small loans to start up businesses and build a community for their families. And we love what we do very, very much. Let me show the
Beautiful.
Awesome.
So beautiful.
Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy 50-50 day.
So great. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
So we are, now we're at?
We got 2 minutes till Amy. Wait,
Okay.
But we're still running, yeah?
We're still running.
Okay, Amy.
We're still alive.
We're still live. I'm putting this in my ear now, and I think you can go because I'm interviewing Amy.
We may or may not have Amy on. So
We are still live.
We're still live.
Can I go wide?
2 minutes to fill. Oh, yep, sorry.
Wide?
You're live.
Nice.
We're all coming back. We're coming back.
Social
So
shares.
social. If
Oh,
you're
social
watching
shares.
this now, you're probably already watching Tiffany Schlane and Let It Ripple Films on Facebook, but also we're on Twitter and Instagram.
And you know, some people that aren't on Facebook, you can go to 50-50day.org, our website, and you can see the live stream there too.
Oh, nice. 50-50day.org.
So you guys are tweeting.
The two different
posting things on Instagram.
The hashtag, getting to 50-50, and then also hashtag why I pledge 50-50 for all of you doing pledges, which we hope you're all doing.
Yes.
And Instagram, 50-50 day.
50-50 day. On
Did you
Instagram.
do a pledge?
And why don't you say what's coming
I
up?
can
What's
pledge
coming
right
up
now.
next? We've got Amy and Jackie Zahner.
Okay. So coming up next, Amy Emmerich from Refinery 29, and she's amazing. She's the one who started the Shatterbox anthology, which is all women-directed projects, and that's when we started 50-50, the film. What actually happened is the film premiered 2 weeks before the election at TED Women with Refinery 29.
A little later. Amy's gonna be a little later.
Okay, Amy's coming later. Woohoo! Okay, so we're gonna talk. Okay, but I'm gonna finish that story. So, she was like, "Make this film," and we made it, and it premiered 2 weeks before the election. We thought we were having this big moment. Ooh. The election happened, and we woke up here at the film studio, and we were like, wow, we really need to double down on getting to a more gender balanced world. So we're going to do 50-50 day, and we had already built this model with Character Day. And Refinery 29 has been an amazing partner, and Amy's just, to hear her speak I'm so glad she's going to visit us whenever she comes on. But then also Jackie Zahner, the first supporter, financial supporter, which is important because she's a lot about that people need to show their financial support behind issues. And then Gary Barker, Pro Mundo, he does the most inspirational work getting men to kind of come into this issue in a way that they can. And
we need the men.
The future of masculinity, they just had their 20th anniversary in New York. Check out their site, Pro Mundo. We actually have some of their films. If you go to 50-50day.org and you look at, you'll see our films, and then we say amazing films by partners, and their films are interspersed. And we have films by all different age groups, because we have a lot of K through 5 having a 50-50 day event. So we have like a Sesame Street thing on gender balance. So
which is so amazing. Like, this is part of the wealth of the internet, is there's so many things. You just need somebody to organize it. Yeah. And one of the things that's so special about 50-50 day is you give people a moment to pay attention. So you could do this any day of the year, and you should do this any day of the year, but you and all of your partners here at Let It Ripple have created this reason for people to organize. 35,000 events around the world.
35,000. Can we just process
Let's just process.
What does that even mean?
They're like all
35,000 events.
But that's what's so fun is this year's the first time we're really coordinated to make sure we did the live stream, because we would hear, sometimes we hear this crazy thing for Character Day. Hong Kong has been doing this like full-blown billboard actor thing for Character Day. We didn't even know about it. Wow. So this time we're like, okay, Mackenzie, she made so that event from Kiva and Todd Brands, they're happening all over, and it's so fun to kind of like, we're tapping into the connectedness. And again, the internet, I know it's gotten a bad rap lately because there's been some bad things that it has caused, but I do ultimately believe it's just an extension of us.
For good if
if you use, and they're us, we're good, bad, and everything in between. So if we can keep pushing it to help us be the best versions of ourselves, the best society, then that's what we hope this day shows.
I'm going to tweet that with the hashtag 50-50 day. Excuse me, sorry.
What did I didn't even know what I said, but I'm glad it was.
The internet is an extension of ourselves, and it can get a bad rap, but that's like giving the atmosphere a bad rap. Like,
right, anything can be used for good or bad. And actually, Marshall McLuhan, who's one of my favorite media theorists, he talked about it. Technology is this extension of us. It just amplifies us. And we can use it for good or bad. And hopefully 50-50 Day and Character Day and everything we're trying, even back from the Webby Awards when I started that, it's just about like pushing it forward. Like, here's the best of the web, do better.
Yeah.
This year we're doing it. Some of the technology, a lot of it's working, which is great, but sometimes it doesn't. And then like, oh, next year we'll do a little better, and that's how you push it forward.
And that is the thing about like people who are solution driven is like you have to be willing to dive into something that's not working. So right now we don't really have gender inclusion and equality, but you have to work on it. You have to enter into something imperfect, make some mistakes, step on people's toes.
Yes. And I'm so glad you said that. I have to say, when I met Dom, you introduced yourself and you're like, Dom, I go by she. That's when I first met you. And I was so grateful. I'm a straight woman, and I didn't know, cisgender, I didn't know the right way to what pronoun. And I was so grateful that you guided me, and that so I didn't feel like I would make a mistake. And now I noticed it's in your signature tag. And now it's added to there. But I think it's all about these things that are uncomfortable, or like, you know, even like, I'm Jewish and you're black, and I always wish more it was highlighted, like the civil rights, the Jews and the blacks were together on it. And so right now we're at this other interesting moment where I think we need to all talk about it, because it's, you know, it's like one of those things that's awkward and kind of messy and complex and uncomfortable, but
this is about learning. This is not about perfection. This is about just expanding your mind to be as open as possible and figuring this all out together. Right?
And being somebody who takes that leadership too of just learning or making mistakes or asking questions so that other people identify you as an ally, and you can even spread what you've learned.
And that's what I love when we use the word inclusion versus, you know, people say diversity a lot.
The word's on the way out.
The word inclusion, we are getting a little bit deeper, and we're going to a different level.
Right, because words have so much power. So I was so psyched when, you know, Frances McDermott, the inclusion writer, because I'm actually a big proponent of quotas, which is a bad word because it's got bad framing. But when she said inclusion writer, which is based on the work of Stacy Smith, who's amazing at USC, I was like, oh my gosh, she just reframed the same concept in a way that is much more open. And it's all about language. So much of this is about language. So the more we can open up the language and having it, and even if you're nervous, am I using the right language? Like to at least talk about it, somebody can correct you and not make everything fall apart.
So Jackie and
you're
standing by, so let's
that's my cue to almost leave, but I want to say hi to them before I go.
Yeah, so guys, don't go anywhere, because Jackie Zahner, and I'm just introducing them. We have Jackie Zahner and Gary Barker. So she already mentioned them, but we're going to tell you a little bit more.
I love them.
Hello there. So really quick, Jackie Zahner is the co-founder of Women Moving Millions. It's a community of over 280 members who have collectively given over $1 billion to organizations and programs that focus on females. And then we have Gary Barker, who's the president and CEO of Promundo. It's a leading voice for the worldwide effort to establish positive, healthy masculinities. So we're so excited you guys are
I
here.
am just thrilled. This pairing, I'm so interested in. It's so lovely to see you both. Your work is so important in this movement, so just great respect. And congratulations on your 20th anniversary, Gary.
Thanks.
I'm going to actually turn this over because she's going to be doing she's going to be letting you two talk, so.
You guys just have at it. You can start the conversation. We just want you guys to, you know, touch on specifically how men, women, and non-gender conforming people can work together to create a more gender equitable world. So dive in.
Great. Thank you. A big hello from Lower Manhattan. I'm in our offices at Women Moving Millions with our amazing team, and I'm here by myself, but standing with me are all our amazing members who have prioritized women and girls in their philanthropic fundraising and what they give to. So this is such a pleasure. It's a pleasure to support Let It Ripple, these amazing initiatives. So hello from New York City.
Hello, hello. And Gary, give us a little intro for yourself. Gary, are
this
you
week,
there?
Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm in our office in Washington, D.C. We just celebrated our 20th anniversary this week and did the first ever Future of Manhood Awards, acknowledging individuals who have inspired us to think about what it looks like to be equitable, healthy versions of manhood, and doing that in your day job, in your personal life, in politics, and not doing it speaking instead of women, but always together with. So thrilled to be part of this conversation. It's needed, and been following it and thrilled to add our voice to it.
That's awesome. So I just want you guys to sort of take this over a little bit and just talk to each other about how we can raise the next generation so they're better equipped to build and sustain this gender equality. You both have methods that you use. So just talk to each other about what men and women can do to make this continue.
Great. Well, thank you. And it's such a pleasure, Gary, to be here with you. You are a personal hero of mine. And, you know, it takes a village, a community, a world to really engage around this issue. And I'm always interested, as someone very involved with documentary film. I live in Park City, very involved with social issue documentaries. Like, what's your story around this? How did this become sort of what you have given your life to?
Yeah, a couple of things, I suppose. One, my father as a social worker was before he retired, which is often seen as a woman's profession. The care of children as a, you know, and the care of children in special needs as being something that women do. So I think he is a role model for me. I also, a painful event, I witnessed a high school shooting and saw it was a man killing another young man in my school, and watched how, you know, how harmful ideas of manhood played out there. Young women that I, you know, grew up with, all of them had some story of being treated badly by a man, and kind of looking at that and saying, you know, that's not the manhood that I believe in, and finding other men saying, we need to bring our voices to the table on this. And so started Promundo 20 years ago in Brazil, and then we've taken it to many other places, saying men need to be part of this equation, and not, we're doing this because it's right. We're not doing this as a favor to women, because it's the right thing to do. And increasingly, because we know our lives as men, you know, speaking as a cisgendered heterosexual man, my life gets better too when I embrace gender equality. So I think we're trying to get to the point that this is not me doing a favor as a man. I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do, and my life gets better doing it.
It's so interesting when we bring the men into the conversation. I just want to know, like, what does it specifically look like? You know, because I feel like if, you know, men were watching right now, what are they supposed to be doing? Because I think a lot of men, especially after the Me Too, you know, came forward, the Me Too movement picked up, you know, they feel a little lost in terms of how they're supposed to approach women and make them feel respected and that sort of thing. So what specifically do you offer for men to tap into?
Yeah, I mean, and I think a lot of men are kind of frightened. Are we going to say the wrong thing? What is allowed anymore? And I think it's okay for us to be a little confused for a while, right? It's not bad if we as men stop and ask for directions. Kind of a useful thing. And I think to realize we need to do a lot of listening. It's not just saying, yeah, I'm not one of those guys who did that. How do we listen? And so whether that's in the workplace, of what does it require to make a workplace feel fully embracing of women's roles as well as sexual diversity in all of its forms. At home, are we negotiating what it looks like to be 50-50 at home in terms of who's doing what? In how we raise our sons and daughters, are we providing the spaces for our daughters to be all they can be? And are we also having difficult conversations with our sons about what manhood looks like, what we mean by healthy manhood? We're doing a lot of bashing of toxic masculinity, which I think needs to happen, but that's not a very useful conversation for a lot of our sons, of saying, you know, don't do that, but are we saying what we need you to do? So I think it's getting our sons to, you know, our sons are spending a lot of time in front of computers and with games in their hands. How do we get them to step back and say, hey, pay attention to me over here. Let's talk about this. So I think it's all of those things. And, you know, Jackie, I've admired your work as well in terms of saying corporate sector has been very male dominated, whether it's the for-profit end of it and sometimes the philanthropic end of it as well. So we'd love to hear, how do you've hit some barriers along the way. Always curious as kind of, you know, what would you say has helped or male allies along the way as well. So I'd love to hear from you on what do you need from men. We actually can as men stop and ask those questions. We don't do it often, but we need to. So we'd love to hear from you. What do you need from, what have men leaders done for you in spaces where you've been able to, you've made a voice?
Oh, well, thank you. Just this morning, as I was walking to our offices at Women Moving Millions, it really was 30 years ago, I can't believe it, 1988, that I first set foot in Lower Manhattan to start my career at Goldman Sachs, where I was for 14 years. So I have this background in financial services and actually just attended a breakfast this morning where it seems like we're talking about the same things as we were talking about, 10, 15 years ago, sort of where are the women in finance, how are women increasingly using their financial resources, and men. But frankly, and it's been my life's work a lot in the past 15 years after having that career in Wall Street to really focus on movement building around women. That being said, we all can, should, must use our resources in alignment with our vision and values in the world that we want to see. And coming from a financial background, a friend of mine, Ruth Ann Harnish, and I'm sure others have said, finance is the new frontier of feminism. And money really does make the world go around, and it can make it go around differently if we really infuse our values and how we use those resources in terms of how we give, yes, by supporting causes like Promundo, like countless organizations that really have a very inclusive approach to how they do their work, but also the products we buy, who we shop from, how we invest our capital. The event this morning was very much focused on women entrepreneurs. Women get less than 10% venture capital dollars. So, it's funny because I feel like in many ways I'm coming full circle from a career on Wall Street, which afforded me the opportunity to have much more of a philanthropic focus where around my life's work is around gender equality, to now in many ways coming back to the financial services sector with a different set of experiences, frankly, from a lot of listening, and to say, how can our financial systems be more inclusive, be more supportive, of all genders, in terms of what it means to build that kind of economy, the one that is going to last, is going to be sustainable. So engaging men around this is so important because they are our financial leaders. In fact, my former boss is the Treasury Secretary of the United States, Stephen Mnuchin. So, we're still in a world where most of the billionaires in our world are men, and it's important that we lean into everything we can to have these kind of conversations and to bring us together, because we're moving out of the binary. We have a history of binary. We need to move forward into one where there's everything in between. It's a circle, it's not a line, and we are all in this together.
Before we wrap up with you two, I just want you guys to finish the sentence. 50-50 is, so we'll start with Gary.
50-50 is getting men to do half of the world's caregiving. So while we want women to be 50-50 at the tables of parliaments and every corporation and every small business, we know that somebody's got to do the care work, and that we need men doing more of that. So for me, men doing 50-50 of the hands-on care of our homes and our children and our elderly parents. I'll go with that as a big, lofty goal.
Very good. And Jackie, 50-50 is, before we wrap up.
Thank you. Well, 50-50 is so many things, but 50-50 is building an inclusive economy, and a key part of that is inclusive capital.
Awesome. Jackie, Gary, thank you guys so very much. We really appreciate you being here today, moving the conversation forward. Thank you.
Right.
Good to see you guys. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Skype from New York, from Refinery 29.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Oh, Annalisa, you guys are together. Oh, and there's Julie. Ah! This is so exciting. We're like together, but not really. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you both. You're both very special to me in different ways. But I'll get all schmaltzy. Maybe I should get a little schmaltzy. I'll get a little schmaltzy because, what? Can you hear me?
Amy was the girl. We were doing another interview, and I'm like, you should stay here. It's good. Just finished live from the ladies' room.
Yeah.
So
You
we
just
just finished the interview.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to see the interview that you're doing from the ladies' room, which is awesome. And Amy, Amy just kicking some serious everything over at Refinery 29. And look at you wearing your shirt. You are so cute. And I'm.
We need their shirts.
Oh my God! Why aren't I wearing that shirt? It would look a little better. That's so great. And Elisa, I love everything she does, her show. And we actually, should we share our extra special relationship? I am her mentor, and she's my mentee. She's one of those people that I was like, I believe in you, and I want to help you. Which, well, it's a big thing.
Yeah, I know. Well, we were actually just talking about that in our ladies' room conversation about the role of mentors and mentorships and how it can be informal or formal, or you just find women you want to gravitate towards and just take them out for coffee or whatever. It could be whatever, as long as you're learning something and taking risks.
Yeah, and everyone can be a mentor. I mean, young people can be a mentor. The intergenerational mentorship, peer mentorship, and I think, you know, I bet you everyone watching right now could think of 1 to 2 people, probably more, that they really believe in, that you have knowledge that you could share with them. And if that could be your pledge today, that's on our action pledge tool. That's one of the pledges, is to mentor someone. So that would be a pretty fabulous and poignant pledge. But you know, tell us about Refinery 29. You guys, you're just paving the way in so many ways, and like with box, and talk to us.
We're all about getting to 50-50 day, Tiffany. I don't know what you're talking about.
Finishing off with 50-50 days.
No, I mean, we're doing our best. We were talking earlier about how I try to be, an activist and a CCO at the same time, but how working at this company really allowed me to understand the world differently and to really see it differently. Working with people like Elisa every day and being able to have conversations that I don't think most people have the privilege of working in a safe space where you can really challenge your way of thinking, the way the world works, and try to come up with innovative new ways to speed forward to the future that we want. But yeah.
That is so great. And Elisa, why don't you tell us about your show?
Sure, yeah. So we've got the fastest growing franchise here at Refinery 29. It's Strong Opinions Loosely Held, and it is a video series and a podcast. So if you go to facebook.com/Strong Opinions Loosely Held, you will find a ton of feminist content. And we just launched our 3rd season, which was sponsored by Spotify. So wherever you get your podcast, you can download Strong Opinions Loosely Held. And this season we talk about memes and meme culture. So the rise of memes in China, despite having a very censored internet. What happened to the young woman who coined the phrase "on fleek"? Where did she go?
Where did she go?
Well, you sent it. Oh, yeah. You got to listen to the podcast.
Okay, everybody's got to listen to the podcast, clearly.
Yeah, they're short, they're sweet. It's well produced. We're not going to talk your ear off for an hour and a half and think we don't need to be not edited. So we think it's good, but we're interested to hear your feedback too, and let us know what you think. A lot of feminist video content. So if that's your thing, check it out.
Check it out. It's fantastic. She also has a great newsletter. And you guys are doing an event. You're doing a Refinery 29 50-50 comedy moth slam. What are you doing? Tell us.
The women here are very inventive. I will say that as I look to one of them off camera. But today the lineup features storytellers, comedians, spoken word poets. What else are we doing? They're talking about environment, creativity, feminism, some are 29ers, but some outside. And that's at 5:30.
So 5:30 Eastern time, and we're going to be tapping. Yeah, we're going to be tapping into it from here, so people can experience it on your page or ours. And we love our partnership. We have a very deep Deep partnership. You're wearing the shirt. I know. It's great.
What's so excited about for the open mic night is that it combines creativity and these kind of statistics that what we all talk about all the time.
Yeah.
And I know, Tiffany, for you, that's like so up your alley, where you always talk about the combination of these two things, right? Like art and science and how they can come together.
Absolutely.
And so we think it's a really exciting program and moment for these topics that we all read long think pieces about, to have really personal stories and obviously creative and artistic freedom there as well. So we're super excited about it.
Excellent. And what, let me ask you, I mean, what gives you hope right now?
You know what we're doing? Something that you love too, that I always loved about, even when you did the pitch for the film, is the idea of abundance and how we all need to have an abundance mindset. And if we can focus more on the things that are good in the world and see those instead of a lot of what we have to be aware and know about the problems that we all face and what we're trying to change, but balance that with, well, look at who has been successful, right, and how do we really, celebrate that and then try to follow in that model so we can have more success.
Yeah.
So we've been doing kind of abundant mindset conversations here. We're getting ready for a big show next week, and that entire philosophy has helped me stay a lot more hopeful about what's to come, really looking at this next generation.
Yeah.
Smarter and more badass than I ever was at that generation's age. So I think that also gives me a lot of hope.
Yeah, and I think also, like, even on looking at through history, like, that was what was so powerful to work on the film 50/50, is we wouldn't want to go back 100 years on any issue. It's always a good thing to remember. As frustrated as we can be at times right now, we wouldn't want to go back, and we need to keep pushing forward. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So we just need to like pushing on that edge, just like pushing to like get to where we need to go and accelerate the change. I mean, I think that's what I feel very excited about, is I feel like there's an acceleration, and you two are very much helping to make that happen. We have to wrap this up now. Elisa, do you want to, is there anything you want to leave us with that gives you hope?
That gives me hope. I think the role of men is really interesting. I'm being kind of really trolled right now, and it's fascinating to watch men's response to this conversation, and just digging through that, and how do you find common ground with people who also aren't happy and whose culture isn't serving as well. So I think it's an interesting moment to kind of come together and not find common ground, because I know that's been talked about a lot, but just like figure out a way together where we can create a new culture that benefits everyone.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, because that's the goal of this day. It's not called Women's 50/50 Day. It's like we're all in. We're all in this issue. I know that the term ally, I even feel like that removes it a little bit. Like, we're all actually in it. It was all of our issue, and we need to reveal why it matters to everyone. I love seeing you two. Total highlight. And I hope to see you in person. I'm coming to New York in May. We'll hang out. Thank you for doing all that you're doing.
No, this is what this is about.
We love you.
Love you. Mwah.
Great day, everybody.
Bye. Okay, now we have Mackenzie, who's going to be tapping in. Switcherooski. And you're going to have the mic. You have to have both. Okay. And there's the volume. And I'm leaving quickly. Man. Do I look in this or this camera? TV. I look at the TV? Okay.
Hello everyone, this is Mackenzie Darling coming back again, going live to our amazing ambassadors today. This is one of my favorite sections of the day since I'm Director of Partnerships and Engagement. I have had the pleasure of finding some amazing people from all over the world that have a passion around getting to 50/50 to create a more gender-balanced world that is better for everyone. I would like to introduce 3 of my amazing ambassadors today. We have Cassandra Washington from Dallas, Texas. We have Mayank Saleggi, who's from Bangalore, India. And then I believe Jennifer Sertle was on from Rochester, New York. I'm not seeing her on here, but hopefully maybe there's a couple of tech problems in the background and we will see her here soon. Hello, Mayank, and hello, Cassandra. How are you?
Hello.
Happy 50-50 Day. How's everything going? Wonderful. Okay, great. So, Cassandra, well, yeah, I think the best is to have both of you introduce one another. Cassandra, do you want to start off and just tell us a little bit about your background, what you have planned for today? You have a huge event that we're going to be tapping into later, which I'm so excited about. So, give us the 411.
All right, so I'm Cassandra Washington. I'm here in Dallas, Texas, and we're so excited. This is our second time being a part of 50-50 Day. Last year we had close to 100 people in a room having a conversation about how to move the needle towards a more 50-50 world. So we're excited to have another 70 people joining us this year at the Network Bar. I'm working with some amazing partners, entrepreneurs and small businesses. We're going to network, connect, and really have real dialogue and discussion. We're excited.
Wonderful. We are so excited to be there with you. And thank you again for all the work and community building that you do around this. I know that it's a lot of work, but I know that you really enjoy that as well. Mayank, let's put it over to you. How are you doing, Mayank? Can you hear me? Oh, we have Jennifer. We're part of the experiment today, so we're just rolling with the punches. Mayank, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. So Mayank came into the Let It Ripple family, I think, about 3 years ago now. He was one of our speakers for Character Day, and he runs an amazing organization called Valid Initiatives over in India. So without further ado, Mayank, why don't you tell us why, what you do in India with Valid Initiatives, and tell us a little bit about your 50-50 Day event that you actually did yesterday, since the time zones are so crazy here.
Absolutely. Firstly, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be part of this fantastic program. All credit to you, Mackenzie and Disney, of course. Just for the ones who are logging in as us, my name is Mayank and I'm based in India, and I essentially have devoted most of my time to building values and character in young children. And now I realize with my experience over time that it's not just about children, it's also about adults, especially the teachers and the parents and the families, society. So our work has expanded gradually like that, and one of the key components of my learning has been that we can't go the distance without involving men, women, and everyone in between. So that's one of the most amazing things. Like, for example, my organization employs 95.5% women, and it's completely run by women. I think I'm the happiest guy in the entire organization. Also, the event which we had yesterday had about 25 to 30 women attending the event where we screened the movie. We had a fantastic time, and we had some amazing pledges being taken. Some of them were at a personal level, some of them were taking action at their home, some at a business level. And so we had very emotional moments in the entire thing, and we even Facebook brought live the entire experience. So it was pretty amazing, and people can't wait to hear more about it. And if there's anyone in India or even anyone in Southeast Asia for that matter, I'm more than happy to share our experiences, our resources, and to reach getting the 50-50 together.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mayank, and thank you for all of the wonderful work that you do. We actually have to wrap up this section because we're getting to our next speaker. But everyone that is watching, I would really urge you, if you want to keep this conversation going year-round, please do join our ambassador group on Facebook. We would love to have you there and have you be introduced to thought leaders just like Cassandra and Mayank. So please do go to Facebook and look up 50-50 Day Ambassadors Group. We hope to see you there. I'm bringing in Tiffany now, and she's going to be introducing the next act.
Hello. Actually, can I get in the light chair? We're doing a little switcheroo. I'm going to bring that over.
Let's get an IFB.
Yeah, I need to always be sitting in this one, and if you could do it for me, that would be awesome. Okay. Okay, let me put this in. Hello, welcome back. I'm really looking forward to this next discussion. We've got Glenda Carr, who is the co-founder of Higher Heights for America, a national organization that is building the political power of Black women from the voting booth to elected office by creating an environment for Black women to run, win, and lead. Hello, Glenda. Nice to see you again. We're going to have to do this regularly now. And then my dear friend Ellen Powell, who's a tech investor and the former CEO of Reddit, and a co-founder of the award-winning Diversity and Inclusion Project, nonprofit Project Include, and she's the author of the great book, Reset, My Fight for Inclusion. So welcome to you both. So happy to have you.
So nice to meet you, Glenda.
I know, you too. I'm very excited for you two knowing each other. Like, part of the fun about doing the pairings this year, which is different for us, is also doing some connecting. So we've had a lot of interesting conversations, and what I'm really interested in both of you two talking about is, why is having more women of color crucial to be in leadership? Why is it crucial? Either any one of you can speak to that. Ellen, you want to go first?
I'll start. Yeah, I think there's a need to understand what everybody's experiencing, and I think it's been very hard, and you can see it at the tech companies at the leadership level, to really understand how their platforms operate and how it's used to often exclude or push off voices from people of color. And if you look at how these platforms are suffering right now, if you look at what's going on Facebook, what's going on platforms like Nextdoor, Airbnb, a lot of it is because they have not had people of color, and especially women of color, in their top ranks. If you look at the harassment that happens on sites, including at Reddit, where I was, a lot of it is targeted towards women of color. The worst harassment happens to people like us, and being able to have people on your team who actually understand it and know how it works is the only way that you can get rid of it. That's why I keep pushing these companies to hire people at the highest levels, put them on your boards, and include them on your executive teams in order to really understand what's going on in the wider community and understand your whole customer base. And when I think about leadership in the country and in our communities, definitely the same ideas apply. You need to have people who understand what's going on to the people who are suffering the worst, and that doesn't happen unless they're in the rooms talking with you.
Great. I'm really glad you brought that up with everything with tech, and needs a lot of work. And I do think that would help a lot of the mess that we're in with a lot of these. So thanks for bringing that up. Glenda, talk to us about why this is so important.
I think, diverse decision-making tables make better decisions, right? That being said, regardless if it is from our community organizations to our democracy to our C-suites, we need to make sure that our decision-making tables are diverse. This is the 50th anniversary of Shirley Chisholm's run an election to Congress, making her the first Black woman ever to serve in the United States House of Representatives. And what her platform 50 years ago was that she was unbought and unbought leadership. She stepped into a body that was very white, that was very male, but believed that she had an experience, she had a qualification and a voice that needed to be heard. Fast forward 50 years later, the 23 million Black women in this country are underrepresented and underserved. Although we are the building blocks to a winning coalition at the ballot, we continue to come out and vote to move this country forward. We are underrepresented, right alongside of our other women of color colleagues across this country. Higher Heights was built to be the political home for Black women, helping to move them up the leadership ladder from registering to vote to running for office. Back in December 2017, after the Alabama Senate race, everybody woke up and said, thank you, Black women. Now it's about investing in Black women's leadership and in women's of color leadership in a way that can change the fabric of our democracy in a way that will move our country forward.
Well said, well said. Now, we certainly are in an interesting moment. I mean, I think, Ellen, when you were in the middle of your lawsuit, it was a totally different era. I feel like the last year, there's been a lot more conversation of what you were bringing up. And what are your thoughts about where we are right now? We're in an interesting, complicated time. And I'd love to know what you both think about it and what gives you hope and what kind of advice would you give to kind of keep propelling it forward?
Yeah. I'm excited by the fact that people are talking about these issues and people are now sharing their own stories, and that has helped people understand that this is a reality and have a better understanding of how other people experience their lives, which is different than the way a lot of other people are experiencing more privileged lives. So this idea that, there is discrimination, there is bias, there is harassment, it exists, there's unfair treatment, is now more easily believed by a much greater swath of the population. I'm a little bit concerned that all of these stories are not creating the change as quickly as we'd like to see. It's exciting to see Higher Heights really pushing and to really kind of focus some energy around bringing those experiences out and hoping to catalyze change. When I look at the tech industry, it has not changed yet. And it will take, a lot of people putting in a lot of hours and doing a lot of hard work and convincing a lot of people that, now that you see the unfairness, you actually have to do some hard work to change it.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers haven't changed. And I mean, we saw in Hollywood the inclusivity rider, which could be used in many industries, as you brought up with me. And it's really, it's an interesting, I really, our big tool this year is the action pledge tool, like wanting people to really commit. We're going to hold them accountable. We're going to provide resources, and we're going to follow up. Because I think a lot of people set these goals and then they don't reach them, and then what happens? There needs to be some accountability for reaching those goals. So Glenda, what are your thoughts about kind of the moment we're in right now?
I absolutely believe we're in a movement building opportunity. Time. People woke up the day after the election in 2016, resolved to organize and to move this country forward. That being said, I could be here all day with Shirley Chisholm quotes. I'm going to give y'all two. So she once said, at present, our country needs women's idealism and determination in politics more than anywhere else. And I think that statement rings true, and women have answered that call. We've marched in record numbers, we've protested in record numbers, and there's a record number of women running for office, including a record number of Black women running for office. In 2016, we have an opportunity to elect the first Black woman governor in our country's 241-year history.
Fantastic.
So when you talk about this moment, there is this sizzle happening. Shirley Chisholm also once said, "You don't make progress whimpering, complaining on the sidelines. You make progress by implementing ideas." And I think the work that you're doing to gather women and our allies across the country on one day to talk about 50-50. It is the work of organizations like Higher Heights, and Vote, Run, Lead, and Emerge, and Latinas Represent, making sure that it is inclusive, that we're not just organizing, women, but that we're making sure that we are organizing all women across the social economic spectrum, across race, across ethnicity, and in all parts of this country. And one thing that happens is technology allows us to do that. So I think, more women are stepping off the sidelines. They're looking for information. They're looking a place to gather, and they're looking for action tools. So I'm excited about your action pledge and literally having a tool for us to take action today.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you both. You both inspire me. Thank you for the work you do. And I like the word sizzle. We're at a sizzle moment to push it forward, and you two are at the forefront. So thank you so much for participating in 50-50 Day, and keep on doing all the amazing things you're doing. We're behind you.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
On. We're on. We're going to April 6th. Hey! We're looking for, this is Sawyer and Dom, we're looking for, we're supposed to be on with another event. April 6th are amazing. There we are!
Oh!
Hey everybody.
Up? All right, the makers.
Can I just go wave?
Yeah, come wave, come wave.
I'm not hearing.
Okay, I'm just waving, I'm waving.
Somebody say something, I can't hear you.
I can't hear
We
you.
can't hear you.
Can you see me? Hi, we love the
There you
clothes
are.
so much.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you, April 6th.
It's an important tool for the world. They're going to talk about it, but.
Awesome, and I'm still not, 1 second, I'm still not quite hearing them. So here's the background. April 6th is this, we're actually just down the street from each other. We're all in San Francisco, in downtown San Francisco, and we built this action pledge tool together, and it all sort of started from, we had this idea that we wanted to build a new action pledge tool, and then found out that April 6th had built this amazing tool last year without us even being involved. And do you guys want to tell us about what happened last year? So this is Faye and Kyle in the front row, and we've got more people behind them, and we've been working so closely with them over the last few months to produce this amazing tool. So tell us how it all started.
Yeah, Kyle, it's way.
Yeah, sure. So it started last year. We were screening one of the events in our offices here, and we wanted to come up with an idea where, as the event continued, people could write down their pledges on sticky notes and stick them on a wall. So as the event continued, you could kind of see it form into this gigantic wall of pledges. And then we decided to make it into an online tool. So we wanted to have it so people could use their phones through the event, and then people who weren't at the event could also contribute and pledge. And then for this year, we wanted to expand that to not just being our event here, but being a worldwide tool. And I think one of the bigger inspirations for us was that I feel like sometimes people around the world might feel isolated, feel like they can't really see the movement as a whole. They might feel like they're on their own in this. So I think creating a tool where you can see it happening around the world in real time was something that we really wanted to create. Yeah, thanks to everybody here in the room and everyone else around the office that contributed. I think just about everyone had their hands on this one. So it's really good to see it coming together.
Yeah, I think that the event last year for us was about kind of raising awareness, but we knew that it would take more than just awareness to get us to kind of the 50-50 drive, and that's where those pledges kind of came into place. So it's great that we were able to kind of completely aligned with you guys and work together to create this tool that I feel like has gone down extremely well with everyone. Yeah, we're nearing 2,000 pledges, I think, now. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you all roll in throughout the day.
Are we seeing any trends so far in the pledges? I just took a peek at the back end before popping on, and it's fascinating. There's a lot going on back there.
Yeah, so we have all of our analytics tracking right now. We're going to go high tech here and go a little screen in. You see that? So our analytics from around the world right now. We can switch over here and.
Wow, this is technology.
This is very
press.
Any insights? What are the most popular pledges? Ooh, I see North America, South America, China.
Exactly.
Do we know how many countries have made pledges so far?
Let's see. I think we're getting close to. Actually, it's really exciting.
I think what's also to see as well is that where we've broken the kind of personas down, so we've got a whole range of different type of groups and people pledging. So whether it's a company, an educator, a parent. And there's kind of a real similarity between the numbers of those. So it's great that literally everyone.
So cool. And speaking of companies taking pledges, so you all did the 50-50 day event last year, and you're doing a huge event tonight, I know, in Silicon Valley, which is super exciting, and we're going to be tapping into that event later tonight too. Have you seen a shift in the culture of your company since doing these pledges and making this part of sort of the atmosphere?
I think we are in a very lucky situation in that we are founded by a woman. Our CEO and founder is Fiona Shepherd, who is headquartered in London, but is actually today. She's coming to our event this evening, which is great. And our office in San Francisco and London are also headed up by women. So our organisation, kind of very foundation, has been founded female leaders. And I think that has kind of really fostered in the culture that we've created here. And so although the 50/50 event was our first last year, we were able to officially announce that we are a 50/50 organization, which is amazing across the board, across all of our offices in Singapore, in London, San Francisco. So I think, again, to build on that, we really wanted to start taking action. And I think, again, that kind of goes into the pledges, whether it's mentoring or being a mentee. So that's where the pledges kind of came into place. So it has changed, and I think people are doing more from an action perspective. But being 50/50 has always been something that's really important to us.
And I have some more thoughts about that, but Dom, do you have any? Dom has not been part of the whole building of the pledges, so has this really awesome perspective of kind of coming in now and seeing the power of it.
I just want to say to you all, in both of your San Francisco and London offices, thank you. Like, this is amazing. I like, it's amazing that you, like, the first level of engagement is like tuning in and watching things, right? And the second level of engagement is like inviting other people, like creating a platform and like organizing space. And like the next level of engagement is like actually becoming a committed part of it, like making a pledge. And then on top of that, like building a tool to help everybody engage that third level is such an incredible way to amplify this work. And I love that your leadership saw this as an opportunity to exercise, to like flex the muscles that y'all have most strongly. Like, you build things, you make things. That's incredible. I just want to thank you.
Awesome. And I have one other thing. We do have to go on to the next event now, but one other thought is just how much this is a perfect example of the ripple that happens from having women leadership. So the fact that this has all come to fruition through actually 2 organizations led by women. I was lucky enough to grow up in a home that my mom was an entrepreneur in our basement, and that was just part of what I knew. And it's a different way of operating business.
Yeah.
And I think that this is just a clear example of the power of the ripple of how many things can come from that shift. So we do have to wrap up. Thank you guys so much for everything. We're gonna be tapping into your event tonight. I believe it's around 6:30 Pacific.
Cool.
It's on the schedule, and we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, clear? Okay, clear. So done.
Hi everyone. So this is the end of our first session of the day for 50/50 Day. We've had such amazing speakers so far. We've gone to some really exciting events. If you keep watching, go to the next link, which should be just above this video now. It will have the whole schedule for the next hour-and-a-half block. Tons of more amazing speakers and more events, and we're excited to be back in just a minute. Yeah. I'm still on. Happy 50-50 day.
Hashtag 50-50 day. Hashtag 50-50 day.
There you go.
Tweet with us. Live stream.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so this